What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 44. Jose Aldo going against Rob Font. It is a 14-fight card. We were supposed to have 15 fights, but we did lose the Mirzakhanov and Vandera fight, which sucks. I did have a small bet on Vandera. Would have liked to see how that did play out. I would have liked to see him face off as well. But yeah, that fight is off, unfortunately. But still, we have 14 fights. Going to be talking through the card from a betting perspective. From a Draftkings perspective, and then also talk a little bit about the weigh-ins as well. I do want to shout out the sponsor, as always, Pub Sports Radio. I'm over there 4 or 5 times a week. They do go live on Saturdays, live betting, live commentary. I potentially will be making it to a show on Saturday, so make sure you go check out Pub Sports Radio. Lots of great content, lots of great guys over there. As always, yeah, if you guys could please smash the like button, it'd be much, much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification bell as well. I'm getting really close to 13K subs. I think we're like 10 away, so it'd be cool to hit that by this card. But yeah, appreciate all the support week in and week out. Let's check out the chat, and then we'll get into it here. Uncle Weezy, first one saying, let's go. What is up, Uncle Weezy? We got Adrian in the chat, and he also got a dono from Adrian there. Appreciate you, Adrian, for the dono. You're always hanging out week in and week out. Really do appreciate that a ton. We got Sean in the chat saying, let's get it, Sean. We got Bill in the chat as well. Prodigy, good card to get us ready to make some money for the best card of the year next week. Yeah, I'm taking it, I want to say kind of late this week, and I already have 2 pretty big bets for next week. Next week looks like a phenomenal card, not just for watching, but from a betting perspective as well. We have Luis as well saying, let's eat, fellas. Let's eat indeed. At long last, Adam in the chat. PSSA hanging out. Zombie, Brainism, how long till the site is up, Brady? The answer to that is the first card back in January. Everything's already done, just testing things, making sure it's perfect. Going to take the couple weeks off December, January to make sure it's ready to go. And then we'll be releasing it January 15th, I think is the first card back. But yeah, cannot wait for that. Hey, Font. Yep, I'm picking Rob Font. Don't think I'll bet it, though. Philip as well. So I say we get right into it, guys. We have a lot of talk about 14 fights. I'll be posting the betting breakdown tomorrow morning. And then also I'll be going live tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time with me, Uncle Weezy, Narco Cop, and MMA Lock of the Night. Should be a very fun show. Going to do an extra 30 minutes in that show because we have so many fights as well. So I say we get right into it. Luis Smolka, Vince Morales. Smolka, he is -150. Vince Morales is +130. I do like Smolka here. I do like him on DraftKings as well. You take a look at Smolka. When he's winning, he is scoring a ton on DraftKings. I don't think he's had a performance in a win where he scored over or under 100, maybe one. But when he typically wins on DraftKings, it scores very, very well. So automatically that makes me very interested in him. And it is the first fight of the night. So I think Smolka has some very good finishing opportunity here. Smolka has an 89% finish rate, 47% by knockout, 42% by submission, and Vince Morales has been submitted twice in his career. So yeah, I think Smolka is going to get it done, probably inside the distance. I do have a bet in the first fight of the night. What I do have is going to be the fight doesn't go to decision. I got it at +100. It's now still +100, +105 even. I have 1 unit on that. The reason being is because I think if Smolka wins, I think it is a submission. He does have some power as well. Vince Morales has been knocked out before. They have been and finished a combined 6 times between both of them, Smolka and Morales. And Smolka's never been knocked out, but we have seen him dropped several times. We've seen him hurt a lot, and Smolka's a decent finisher. We'll take a look at these finish rates. Smolka, 89% finish rate, and Vince Morales, a very good finisher, not really in the UFC yet. We have not seen a finish yet, but outside of the UFC, 70% finish rate. I think someone's getting finished here. We see Smolka is a kill or be killed fighter. His last 5 fights, all ending inside the distance. And at +100, I'm willing to take the shot there on the fight doesn't go, especially on the first fight of the night. I think they do kick it off with a bang. But yeah, Smolka's the pick. The bet is fight doesn't go to decision. Was tempted on betting Smolka straight, but I think I went with the fight that doesn't go to decision instead. Save a little bit. I think if he does win, it is by finish. But yeah, especially DraftKings though. Smolka on DraftKings is where I'm going to have a lot of my investment. I think he's going to score very well in a win. Just the pace he fights at is so good, and then also he's very dangerous. Raul liking Morales by KO. Yeah, I think it's possible. It's definitely possible. We've seen Smolka get hurt before. Prodigy saying I have 1.5 units on the Smolka money line. I like that. We have James in the chat. What is up, James? A guy from the Discord. What is up, Brady? What is up? How you doing? But we'll keep moving along here. We have Alex Morono going against Mickey Gall. earlier in the week, I thought about betting Alex Morono at like minus 190. Now it's minus 230. I ended up passing because Mickey Gall, we're seeing so much improvements each time we see him fight. This guy's getting better and better. We see, massive improvements in the striking. The cardio is looking better as well. But I do think Morono has him covered about everywhere. Morono is a black belt in BJJ. Both guys are. Both guys very good grapplers. Morono is going to probably have the striking advantage. Gall is going to be the bigger guy, the younger guy. He's going to have a reach advantage, all that. That kind of does worry me a little bit. But I think if Morono came out here and wrestled, I think it'd be such an easy fight. The only problem is it's not something we can really count on Morono to do. If he wrestled, I think he'd look minus 400. We saw Diego Sanchez go out there, take down Mickey Gall easily, and finish him. Diego Sanchez. So I think if Morono implemented that game plan, I think he could, do about the same thing. But we see Morono, he doesn't really like to wrestle. I don't know why. He doesn't like using that black belt. He likes his striking. And if he does strike with Mickey Gall, I do favor Morono. But, Mickey Gall, he's long, he's rangy, he's powerful. So that does kind of scare me away. So I'm not going to bet Morono minus 230. Minus 190, I thought about it, but I think I'm just going to pass here. Even looking at any of the props, nothing really sticks out. Morono on DraftKings is ridiculous. 9,500 for Morono. I don't see myself getting there. If anything, it probably would be a dog shot on DraftKings, at least for Mickey Gall, because he is so very dangerous. So, yeah, not a fight I'm too interested in. The pick is going to be Morono, but I don't know. I don't want to fully count out Gall. I think he's getting better and better. Raul is on the dog Gall. JP saying don't see Morono finishing Gall and paying off that 9,500. Yeah, Morono is definitely a decisionator. We'll take a look at the finish stats for him. Morono, a 60% finish rate. Yeah, if you can't finish Reese McKee, I don't know if you're finishing anybody. That's my problem there. But yeah, 30% by knockout, 30% by submission. Gall has been knocked out before, but typically a very tough guy. Yeah, I just don't see him paying off that 9,500. If he comes out here and decides, hey, I'm going to wrestle for 3 rounds for the first time in my career, I think he does actually could pay off that salary, but we just can't count on him to do it. But yeah, Morono's going to be the pick, but I don't know if I'm going to have any action on this one. Uncle Weez is saying Morono should win. Gall has terrible conditioning. Yes, he does. I will say I think it has improved a little bit. We saw in the Perry fight, it looked a little bit better, but yeah, it's still very bad. And Morono should win minutes on the feet with his volume. I do agree. And then Sean saying Weezy 2024. Yes, sir. Cannot wait to vote my Uncle Weezy as the president. That's going to be awesome. But we'll keep moving on. Brian Barberena going against Darian Weeks. So I saw the matchup was booked. I saw Darian Weeks was coming in on short notice, kind of, looked at his Tapology, all that good stuff, looked at his Instagram, and I thought I was going to come in and probably bet on Weeks as a dog. The line opened up. He opened up, I want to say, at like plus 150. He went to plus 170. I saw the plus 170 there. I thought, okay, I'm going to look into the matchup. And after looking into it more, I can't bet Weeks here. Barberena has fought the much better competition, and it's not even close at all. Not even close at all. But with that said, I think Barberena is done. I really do. Barberena has looked horrendous in his last couple fights, especially like after that Vicente Luque fight back in 2019, a fight where he was on his way to probably winning, getting knocked out in the last 5 seconds. He has not looked the same since. He's had multiple surgeries. He had a back surgery that, the doctor said he would probably never fight again. And he just has not looked good. Like against Anthony Ivy, Anthony Ivy is a solid wrestler. Anthony Ivy is a BJJ black belt. He was able to take down Barberena 5 times. Barberena was able to, get back up. But I really did expect Barberena to kind of starch Anthony Ivy. I thought he was going to starch him, get him out of there. But no. He does win a decision, though. Solid win. And then Jason Witt comes around. I thought he was going to starch Jason Witt, who we always joke about has the worst chin in the UFC between him and Malcolm Gordon. Very close between those two guys. And I thought Barberena was going to starch Jason Witt. But no, it was Witt. It was Witt that went out there and dropped Barberena. I was like, what is going on? What is going on? So, no, I don't think Barberena is the same guy at all. If this fight was, 2 years ago, Barberena would be minus 600, 700. He'd be a big favorite. But, I do think Barberena's done. With that said, though, I am still going to pick Barberena, but not with a ton of confidence. Just because he has fought the much better competition. It's not even close. And I know we joke about Jason Witt and how, bad he is. But, Jason Witt is a brown belt in BJJ. Jason Witt does have a wrestling background. And Jason Witt does have, 26 fights under his belt. So I don't want to completely write off Barberena yet. And then Weeks, the thing with Weeks is I'm not too impressed with the guy. You know, the striking's okay, the wrestling's okay. I tried to look into his wrestling background. I did not see much. I think he's a blue belt in BJJ. The cardio is very questionable as well. I've never seen him past the 1.5 round mark in his pro career. But in the amateurs, he has been past that mark. In the amateurs, he does have some decision wins as well. I think he's decent. I just don't know if he's ready for this level. Maybe he is, but the play I did go with is going to be the under 2.5 rounds. I was actually really surprised to see the line where it was at, and it hasn't changed much since I got it. The under 2.5 rounds, I got it at minus 125. I have 1.25 units on it. And yeah, I just think that's off. It's now minus 140, which I still think is pretty solid. I think I even saw fight doesn't go to decision on a book at minus 140, which is just kind of ridiculous because Darren Weeks, 100% finish rate in his pro career, 80% by knockout, 20% by submission. The guy hits very hard. Brian Barberena has been knocked out twice, and Brian Barberena has taken just so much damage, so much punishment his whole career for the most part, but especially as of late. You know, Luque and him got into a war. Randy Brown finished him, and I think that chin is definitely diminishing. It would not shock me at all if Weeks came out here on short notice and starched Barberena in the first round. I mean, if Jason Witt is knocking you down, why can't Weeks here? And on the flip side, Weeks coming in on short notice, I can see a scenario where he's not able to get Barberena out of there, and Barberena takes over late and finishes Weeks in that second or third round. So I think the under 2.5 rounds covers both sides, and it's minus 125. So I actually like that quite a bit. The fight doesn't go to decision, minus 160 on Bet Online. But yeah, the under 2.5 is kind of where I'm looking. I was tempted on Barberena. I was actually going to pull the trigger if he did hit plus money, but he never hit plus money, and I don't think he's going to. So if he does hit plus money, yeah, I'm going to be, betting on Brian Barberena, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So give me Barberena for the pick, but you can't be confident in it. You really can't. The guy, I think, is done. But yeah, curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. It's a very intriguing fight. Hi dude, what is up, Ario? I got the DraftKings app, but I don't know how to bet there. It's so complicated. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or Instagram. I'd be glad to help you out, walk you through it there. Raul's saying Barberena. I'm kind of with you there. Barberena's going to get it done by TKO. I kind of agree there. Maybe a submission even as well. Barberena does have some sneaky submissions. What's up, Brady? Feeling a little ill. Hopefully you feel better, man. Good to see you live taking Weeks via KO round 2. Yeah. It's actually interesting you say that because all of his wins in this pro career are in round 2. Witt looked good in that fight. Yeah, I mean, Witt's not a bum. I mean, I know a lot of people like to joke around and say he's a bum. He's not a bum. He has no chin. But he's good. I like him. Hunting with the dogs. A fun fact, Leonardo Santos defeated George St. Pierre in ADCC in 2005. I have a lot of fun facts about that fight. I know you Jedi are really high on Santos. I am as well. Santos is going to melt Guida. Cannot wait to talk about that in general in the chat. I disagree with that, though, Jedi. Santos is not going to beat him by flying armbar. Dusko stinks. Hey, I agree with that. Brady, you're a good dude. Hey, you're a good dude. Appreciate you hanging out, Loomis. Okay, we'll keep moving on. We have about 7 in here. I know a Bellator is going on pretty soon. I don't know if the card started yet, but it's going on soon. You guys can please smash the like button. That'd be much, much appreciated. We'll keep moving on. We have Claudio Puelles going against Chris Gruetzemacher, a fight that a lot of people have, strong opinions on both sides. And I definitely get it. It's a close fight. It's a very close fight, but I do have a bet on Claudio Puelles. I got him at plus 120. This was the one fight. So the card ended last Saturday. I went in taping this fight right away because it did stick out because Puelles is going to have a massive height advantage, a massive reach advantage. And not only that, he's going to be 10 years younger and training at Sanford MMA. And then I'm looking into the fight, Claudio Puelles is training with some of the best guys in the world. And I take a look at Gruetzemacher. Where is he training? And he's in North Carolina. He used to be at ATT, but he's in North Carolina. He's training in his garage. He's in his driveway. So you have a 25-year-old young guy in Puelles training with the best guys in the world at Sanford, and Gruetzemacher is, jumping rope in his driveway. So, I mean, it's kind of sketchy, but, Gruetzemacher is a guy that you can never count out. He is very gritty. I'll tell you that. I think whoever's going to be able to implement their game plan is going to score really well on DraftKings. Like Puelles, 8,000. If he does go for takedowns, possible submission. Gruetzemacher has been submitted 3 times. So yeah, 8,000 for Puelles. If he wins, I think it scores high. Gruetzemacher, if he wins, it's going to be stuffing takedowns. It's going to be getting taken down and getting back up. It's going to be a ton of volume. This guy lands nearly 7 significant strikes per minute. So yeah, I took the plus money with Puelles. So I mean, you're giving me a guy that's going to have a height advantage, reach advantage, a massive camp advantage as well. A guy that's going to be making improvements And I mean, just taking a look at Gruetzemacher's takedown defense, it's horrendous. 61% on paper, but you watch him in his fights, and he's just getting taken down so easily. His get up game's solid, but Puelles is a much better grappler than Rafa Garcia. Maybe not a better wrestler, but much better grappler. So yeah, I'm going to take Puelles here for the win. I'll take him to win probably by submission, but a decision would not shock me as well. But yeah, I just took the plus 120. Their lines kind of moved a little bit. I expected it to move a lot more, but no, it's a pick 'em, minus 110 each way. If you're on Gruetzemacher, maybe the KO probably be something to look at for plus 425, but I think Puelles gets it done here. Am I extremely confident in it? Not really. It's a close fight, but I do like the Puelles side, especially getting it at plus 120. So yeah, plus 120, 1 unit, and then also this fight on DraftKings, I think is gold, to be honest. I think the winner of this fight is going to score very well, no matter who does get it done. All right. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, I mean, Barbs look done, man. I don't know if I can bet. If it goes to plus money, I'm gonna have to, but I don't know. Bellator's already on already. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I thought it started at maybe 7. I like Puelles in this matchup. I see multiple takedowns. Yeah, the thing about Puelles is he's a really good grappler. We already know that, but his wrestling is actually pretty dang good. Garcia did take Chris down, I think, like 6 times. Alex on the Barberena side. Staying away from this fight betting wise, but I believe Chris wins via being gritty and his experience. He will gas Puelles, I believe. I will say Puelles' gas tank looked a lot better against Jordan Levitt, but I'm not high on Jordan Levitt personally. I know a lot of people that are high on Jordan Levitt for some reason. But yeah, Jordan Levitt's a great grappler, and he was able to, control him for 10 minutes. That was pretty impressive to me. Prodigy got in on Puelles plus 120 for 1 unit. I'm right there with you. Bet it last week. Santos, Guida, good matchup 8 years ago. There you go. No love for Matthews. Interesting pick. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. I have watched so many Jose Aldo fights the past week. I've watched a good amount myself. He hurt Max Holloway bad in their first fight, round 1. That's true. I'm on Puelles for 1 unit at plus 100, but I also like the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 130. Yeah, I like both angles there. Because if Puelles is able to implement his game plan, a sub is likely. Gruetzemacher has been submitted 3 times, and if Gruetzemacher is able to implement his game plan, I could, like Jedi say, maybe he does slow down as the fight goes on and Grits gets him out of the late. What's up, B? Let's make some money. I agree. Alex liking Puelles. Jordan is one of the worst. Hey, I agree with you, but a lot of people really like this guy for some reason. Maybe it's the splits. I don't know, but some people really like this guy. These are the fights I want to fade, but you simply cannot fade either fighter on DK. I just think they have a path to victory that scores well. That's all. But especially at these price tags as well, I'm going to be pretty heavy on it. But we'll keep moving on to this next fight. I think is pretty interesting. Alonzo Menifield, William Knight. Menifield, he is minus 150. William Knight plus 130. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this fight. I've not pulled the trigger on anything yet, but there's just a lot of things that potentially stick out. First of all, let's take a look at these finish rates. Alonzo Menifield, 90% finish rate. All but 2 of his wins coming in the first round. William Knight, 90% finish rate, 80% by knockout, 10% by submission. Both guys have been finished in half their losses. So both guys are very good finishers. Both guys are capable of being finished. So I'm kind of confused why the fight doesn't go to decision. Is only minus 175, and more money keeps coming in on the fight goes. So I'm going to keep waiting this one out. If I can get fight doesn't go to decision like minus 150, I might take a shot there because I do think there's a good chance that somebody does get finished here. What else was I looking at? Menifield, round 1 KO stuck out. I think Menifield round 1 was like plus 470 on FanDuel. That kind of sticks out. The Menifield money line kind of sticks out. I mean, just going back and watching him though, against Devin Clark, this guy gassed out really bad. He was gassed out with like a minute left in the first, and it was because there's a lot of clinching. Devin Clark was able to kind of grind him against the cage for a bunch of that round, and I kind of fear that if William Knight comes in here and kind of grinds Menifield against the cage, yes, his cardio looked good against Ed Herman, but this is a completely different fight. I'm still not completely sold on Menifield's cardio. It was great to see him go 15 minutes with Ed Herman, who's not going to push a pace, who's very slow. But I'm curious to see what he looks like if Knight's able to come in here, push him against the cage, make him work. I'm curious to see what he looks like then, because what we have seen from Devin Clark doing that, he slowed down a ton. And then the OSP fight was just a bad look. I just don't know if I can trust Menifield. So ultimately, I have no bet on this fight. I'm kind of thinking some violence depending on where the line goes. Like I said, if I can get a fight doesn't go at minus 150, I think that's like nuts. I think that is nuts. I think it could be Menifield early, or if Menifield does gas out like he has in the past, maybe Knight late. But yeah, both guys are very, very dangerous. As far as DK goes, I like both sides. Menifield obviously has a ton of finishing potential, and then same thing with Knight. So yeah, a fight I do like on DK. But yeah, very intriguing fight. No bet on it yet. I think the smart move is probably to pass, but I'm going to be looking at potentially some violence depending on where the line does go. Rafa has overvalued Grits. I do 100% agree with that. I really think this fight goes to decision. It all depends. Like if it's like a really grinding fight, I could see that, but I'm curious to see what Menifield's gas tank looks like if it is a grinding fight. I got Alonso, but no money on it. That's probably the way I'm going to do it as well. Alex saying Menifield. James saying Prodigy, what to do, brother? Yeah, we need to get Prodigy back in the Discord. Love Nightmare, but probably best to stay away from this one. Yeah, I think that's probably best as well. Menifield and Knight will cautiously and go with cautiously and end with the judges. I mean, it could. A lot of people do think this does go to decision. Would not completely shock me. Got the GOAT, Tajik Bay in the chat. Shout out to Tajik, the GOAT of the betting community and the GOAT of the MMA community in general. Shout out to him. I think this turns into a boring fight. I hope not. But yeah, I could see it. I could see it. Both guys are afraid of each other's power and don't do much. Yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. William Knight, though, doesn't really strike me as somebody that's going to be scared of anything, though. Like, Alonzo Menifield kind of looks scared against OSP, very hesitant, but I think Knight might bring the fight to him. We'll see. I will die on my shield here. I am all in on Menifield. Charant was walking down Knight. Yeah, that was a bad look. I see love for Willie. He will nap. You like a Menifield by knockout. Yeah, what is Menifield by knockout? Probably not great. Yeah, plus 185. Taking Alonzo, staying off this fight completely, however. We will see one of these fights every week that everyone thinks finishes. Haven't seen many people think this one finishes, though. That's the thing. Maybe everybody thinks that, what fight is it? Everybody thinks that Crute and Hill finishes. Maybe that goes the distance. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people going, saying this goes the distance, believe it or not. I feel like this fight can be very boring. Yeah, I could see it as well, but I hope not. I'm rooting for it not to be boring. So we'll move on, though. Probably best to stay away there. No bet on it yet. Like I said, if I do get fight doesn't go to decision minus 150, I'm gonna take the shot there, but I don't know if it will get there. Cheyenne Velismus going against Mallory Martin. Yeah, I'm gonna take Velismus here, but there are just so many red flags. Mallory Martin, she's not great. Her striking's not great. She did get 10-8'd by Hannah Cyphers. Cyphers was like half a second from finishing her. The ref was so close to stepping in. You can't trust anybody like that. I mean, Martin's a brown belt in BJJ. Her grapplings are bread and butter, but she has been submitted in 2 of her 3 losses, but they were against good grapplers. I mean, whoever's going to implement their game plan is going to have success here, whether it's Martin getting the takedowns or Velismus keeping on the feet. I think Velismus has a massive striking advantage, and Martin's going to have a grappling advantage. But from what I've seen outside of the Ruiz fight, Velismus' takedown defense is really good. I'm going to say she does stuff the takedowns, but am I going to lay minus 185 on Cheyenne Velismus? No, I am not. This is a fight I am completely passing on. Give me Velismus. And she's a fade on DK. If I'm going to play something on DK in this fight, it's going to be Martin because she has grappling upside, but this is a fight that I could really care less about. I feel like this fight could be boring, James. I feel like this Cheyenne Velismus Martin fight could be boring. Jessica fight doesn't go to decision, and you're liking Fiziev by decision. There you go. What's up, Rob? Loving the analysis. Appreciate that. Hey, all, never caught one of these live. Oh, welcome. Welcome to your first live. That's awesome. Prodigy, 4 units on my girl. Prodigy, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, I think she wins, but 4 units. Best of luck. I think it does cash, though. I assume people were on this finishing with 2 monsters with high finish rates and 3rd highest finish line. No, that's just me. I don't see a lot of people thinking it finishes. Yes, I did see that, actually. I'm very confident in Velismus, and I think we should be. I think we probably should be. But it's women's MMA. Armbar from guard, it could potentially happen. But give me Velismus for the win. We'll keep moving on, though. We're kind of rolling through this. I have so much stuff to do. I still have to type 2 articles. I have another show tonight as well. Just a ton of stuff to do today, so kind of rolling through it. Manel Kape, Zhalga Zhumagulov. We have Manel Kape minus 285, Zhalga Zhumagulov plus 245. This line makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why on earth is Manel Kape minus 285? And I love the guy. I love Manel Kape. He's a finisher. He's very dangerous. But one thing I do not like about him is his volume. Like, if he does not finish this fight, I can tell you one thing, he's not going to look minus 285. This guy's volume is a huge concern. He doesn't throw anything. He's very, very low volume. Lots of movement, lots of dancing, but not much volume. And if he does not finish Zalgas, who has only been finished once, it's going to be so greasy and close. So to see him be minus 285 is nuts. I thought minus 200 was about correct. But even then, I was like, I'm not betting Manel Kape at this price tag, because I can see a scenario where he goes out there and looks at Zalgas for 3 rounds and Zalgas gets a close decision. I can definitely see that scenario. But I will take Kape hesitantly, and I'm going to take him to win inside the distance. You take a look at Kape. This is a guy that is a finisher. He has a 4% finish rate. He's only won 1 decision, and that was back in 2013. That was 13 fights ago. This guy is very, very dangerous anywhere the fight goes, has a ton of power. I think he finishes Zalgas here, but if he does not finish Zalgas, he's not going to look minus 300. I'm actually tempted, if anything, just to take a shot on Zalgas at plus 245, because that line is just, it's whack. It's crazy. But I'm going to take Kape to win inside the distance. Inside the distance is plus 200. I was kind of tempted on that. But I mean, give me Kape. And as far as DK goes, I don't love the 9,400, because if he does win and it's by decision, he's going to score like 20, right? But he's going to score like 50 or 60, to be honest. And if he wins like in the 3rd round or 2nd round, he probably does not score well. He's going to have to score like a 1st round finish to make optimal at 9,400. So even on DK, like, this fight is probably one I'm going to be fading outright. But yeah, give me Kape. But yeah, the price tag is just insane. I don't know who is betting Kape at minus 300, but whoever does has some explaining to do. But I think he wins. Pretty violent card. What time does it start? I think it starts at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time as of now. I'm not sure if the time's going to change or not. Mateo, Brady, what's up? Ready to get rich? Yeah, I hope so. This week, kind of a light week for me, but next week I'm going all out. But yeah, hoping to cash this week for sure. August going to lay and pray to a decision. Potentially can take him down here or there, but we see that Kape's takedown defense is very good and get up game is great. Yeah, I've been in here almost every week. If not, I watch the replay. Appreciate that, Prodigy. Dude, I thought this line was bogey. Yeah, I'm getting tempted to bet on Zalgas. I don't want to do it, but my goodness, what is going on with this line? What's happening, my dude, and all my MMA degenerates? I just got off the clock. I'm all ears now. Shout out to the real TP for hanging out. Won Zalgas by cage control for a boring decision. Put 0.5 units on the money line. Can't trust Kape at all. You really can't. You really can't. Zalgas max bet. Ooh, Zalgas going to take his time and piece him up. I can see this fight being so boring. I can see both guys taking their time, and I could see Zalgas squeaking out an ugly, boring decision where they looked at each other for 15 minutes, a staring contest. I could see it. Kape at minus 285 is just crazy. I got Zhumagulov by decision. For the upset line, it's too wide. I agree with that. I have 2 hot takes on this card. Zalgas will win Kape, and Aldo will KO Font. So Zalgas will beat Kape, and then Aldo will KO Font. Yeah, kind of hot takes there. I mean, I think I've seen a couple people take an Aldo by KO, but yeah, that would surprise me. Font's never been knocked out. And then, yeah, as far as Zalgas beating Kape, I don't think that would surprise me that much. But yeah, kind of hot takes, but I could see both of them happening. A small play on Zalgas by decision. Yeah, Zalgas by decision is, what is it, like +1 or +275. Money line is +245. Yeah, I'd probably just take the money line, but maybe you can get decision better elsewhere. Maybe like +300 out there. I don't know. Don't like the line on Kape. He should win. I have him in my long shot parlay 10 legs. Yeah, I think he wins. It's just the line that's concerning. It's the line that's concerning. Comp is and Isma is going to be so boring. I can see it being boring. Got the goat with the dono. Keep supporting Brady. He deserves it. Shout out to you, Tajik. I've been listening to some of your stuff. You do a very good job breaking it down. I heard your co-main event and main event breakdown. Go check that out, guys. Tajik posted on Twitter. Wow, those are some hot takes. they're kind of hot. I had a hot take for the Vandera fight, but sadly that one's off. But let's get moving on. We have Jake Matthews going against Jeremiah Wells. Yeah, tons of fight guys. We're still not on the main card, I don't think. Matthews, he is 9,100 on DK. Wells is 7,100. Matthews minus 170. and Wells is plus 145. I did take the shot on my guy Jeremiah Wells, plus 164, 1 unit. So beat a decent amount of line movement here. And the reason being is I made the mistake, not betting Sabatini or Sean Brady last week. I had Sean Brady by sub, but I made the mistake fading those guys 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to make the mistake and fading a Renzo Gracie Philly guy again. And you go and look at Wells, and I'm actually very impressed with a lot that he brings to the table. First of all, his reach is really, I think he's going to have the reach advantage, right? He's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage, which is huge. He's going to have a power advantage. Jake Matthews is the more technical striker for sure. That's a given. But Wells, he just kind of blitzes in. He runs at his opponent with a ton of power. And when he lands hard. So he's going to have a massive power advantage. He's going to be landing the more shots. And as far as his grappling goes, he's a Renzo Gracie Philly black belt and BJJ legit black belt. And his takedown defense is really good. He's really strong. And his wrestling's good. His top control's good. I've seen him reverse multiple opponents as well. So I'm just really impressed with Jeremiah Wells. Obviously, you got to give Jake Matthews the youth advantage. He's going to be like 6 years younger. You got to give him the level of competition advantage. But you take a look at who Jake Matthews has beat in the UFC. I think he has, 10 or 11 wins in the UFC, and only one of those guys are still on the roster. So you take a look at his wins, and they're kind of crap. His only win that aged somewhat well is the Leech. Other than that, he's beating some guys that are just cut at this point. So, Wells is interesting. I do think Matthews deserves to be the favorite, but I do think Wells can present some problems. I've seen a lot of people, like more than one, say that Wells is KO 1 or bust. And if you think that, you really probably haven't looked into the fight, because go back and watch some of this guy's fights. He's huge. He's bricked up. But he has great cardio. I think he's even going to, and this is a hot take, I think he's going to have the cardio advantage. We've seen Matthews slow down in a bunch of fights, whereas I've seen Wells go 5 rounds. Yes, he's big, but his gas tank's actually surprisingly good. So I'm not worried about him gassing out. He did look like he was slowing down a little bit in his last fight against Warley Alves, but that fight was like on, 2 days notice? So yeah, I like Wells here. Wells plus 164. I don't know if he finishes Matthews. I think potentially he could, but I could see a decision as well. So I just took the money line, plus 164, 1 unit. Again, Matthews has the experience advantage, the level of competition by a mile, but I think Wells can present some problems with his strength, with his power, and also that black belt he has. So yeah, give me some Jeremiah Wells to get it done. Renzo Gracie Philly, Sean Brady did it. Sean Brady and Wells are training partners. I think Wells can get it this fight. We'll see. Ramirez with taking notes there. Very high on Wells here. I went 1 unit on the money line and 1 unit on Wells inside the distance. I like it. I'm on a unit for it myself. Press the like and subscribe. I agree. Let's get those likes up and subscribe if you have not yet. Almost 213K. Appreciate that, General. Jake Matthews is a blockhead. He finna get starched. I hope he gets starched. We'll see what happens though. Click saying Jeremiah has terrible footwork and technique. I 100% agree. To rush his opponent, if he gets takedowns, he probably wins a decision. Matthews is get up game's not good. I agree, and he's terrible off his back. I agree, 100% agree. Like Matthews is going to be the better striker. He's the more technical striker, but sometimes technique doesn't matter if you have Wells like charging at you with a 5-punch combination. Let's see here. Wells by 3rd round, ground and pound, hot take, and might be the ass shaving of the week. I'm getting those vibes. There you go. I like it. This has to be the most outraging DK pricing. If I max the 150, I will have 0 Matthews. Yeah, I put Matthews as my fade on my DK video. And then you're getting Wells at 7,100, and the dude's like plus 140 now. So yeah, I like Wells quite a bit. Again, I don't think he should be favored outright, but I think he has a good shot here. We'll keep moving on. We have we have Dusko Todorovic going against Maki Pittolo, a fight that 2 guys that are extremely untrustworthy, 2 guys that probably don't even belong in the UFC. 2 guys that have screwed over people left and right. Maki Pittolo 1-3 in the UFC. Dusko Todorovic, on a 2-fight skid. Both those fights, I believe he was a favorite. He got starched against Punahele Soriano and lost against Gregory Rodriguez. And Dusko is somebody that I've never I have never been high on. Like from the jump, people loved this guy. People were all over this guy, hyping him up. But you take a look at some of his fights, and he is just such a defensive liability on the feet. Um, some of the worst defensive striking defense you'll ever see. He doesn't even have striking defense. His striking defense is moving his head with his chin up in the air. That's his striking defense. If you guys go back and watch the Punahele Serrano fight, it was actually laughable how bad his striking defense was. Like Punahele Serrano dropped him, he gets back up, and his hands are like all the way down to his sides. He just does it again. I mean, his striking defense is atrocious. And then I'm like, okay, he had a bad performance against Soriano. Soriano hits hard. What's he gonna do against Gregory Rodriguez? I think I did pick Gregory. I didn't bet it though. And then he goes out there against Gregory Rodriguez, and he looks like a shell of himself. Like he looked nothing like himself in that Rodriguez fight. He looked very hesitant. Was it because he got dropped 50 times in the Serrano fight? Maybe, but he just looked off. I mean, he was barely throwing any volume, and that's his biggest attribute is that volume. He was barely throwing anything. And when he would throw something, it didn't land. He landed at a 30% accuracy in the Gregory Rodriguez fight. It just didn't look like himself. So like I said, from the jump in his debut, like even on the Contender Series, I was unimpressed. He gets outlanded 109 to 102 against Teddy Ash. He comes in, he beats Daquan Townsend, probably was the worst UFC fighter in history. And then he gets starched by Soriano and loses to Rodriguez. At least with Maki Pittolo, this is the guy that I was high on, but he has disappointed me a lot. I mean, losing your debut to Callum Potter is almost unforgivable. Getting submitted by Darren Stewart, giving him his first submission win is almost unforgivable. But and we looked decent against Impa in the first round, slowed down. And then he goes out in the Julian Marcus fight, and I think this is important. We saw a different Maki Pittolo. This is a guy that his name's Coconut Bombs. He likes to stand there and bang with his opponent. We saw Maki Pittolo go in there, and I think he was fighting for his job. He came out in there with a great, smart game plan. He went out there, almost 10-8'd Julian Marquez, taking him down, controlling him for nearly 5 minutes of the first round, and then does about the same thing in the second. The only problem is he does slow down, but I saw a Maki in there that was fighting for his job. And at the weigh-ins today, I think Maki looked in the best shape he's ever had. So I think, yeah, he's if he wasn't fighting for his job in his last fight against Marquez, he's definitely fighting for it here. But yeah, this is such a close fight. I don't see why Dusko's the favorite. I think it should be line to pick him. Both guys are untrustworthy. Both guys are not great. But, at least with Maki, we're getting plus money. Maki's going to have the better striking defense. Maki's going to have the better wrestling. Dusko has a 5% takedown accuracy. A lot of that from the Teddy Ash fight. His only takedowns against Daquan Townsend. So I think if there is takedowns, it's going to be from Pittolo, who does have a 52% accuracy. And Todorovic does have a 50% takedown defense. And then you take a look at the striking numbers. Yes, Dusko has that volume, but he's absorbing 5.18 significant strikes per minute with a 48% striking defense. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard not to really like Pittolo here at plus money, in my opinion. The only thing I'll say is Pittolo does slow down as the fight goes on, but so does Dusko a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take a shot on Pittolo. Do I feel great about it? How can you? How can you feel great about this fight at all? But I got him plus 145. I just missed the plus 150. I got him plus 145, and I have one unit on Pittolo, and he is now currently plus 135. So not a ton of line movement. Didn't really expect it to move, but I think this fight should be lined like a straight pick 'em. I think the line's off pretty bad here. See what we got in the chat, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this fight. General saying Pittolo. Yeah, I like Pittolo. Both fighters suck. I do agree with that. Hope Pittolo knocks Dusko out of the UFC. I hope so as well. I really do hope so. I would like nothing more than that. Pittolo gets a KO here. I'd love to see it. 1-800 Gambler. I got the orderlies on standby. Y'all, please don't bet this fight. And you are probably right, but I ended up pulling the trigger. I cannot resist the plus money. Pittolo and Dusko both cannot be trusted, but I'll take the Pittolo. Yeah. You have one guy that can't be trusted, and then you have another guy that cannot be trusted. One's minus 170, the other's plus 140. Give me the plus 140 untrustworthy guy, right? I'm opposite here. I went Dusko inside the distance for half a unit. I think Dusko could potentially submit him, which Dusko by submission is plus 1,000, but knocking out Pittolo is going to be tough. Dusko KO round 2. I think Pittolo is going to empty the gas tank and get a round 1 finish. Yeah, he does come out hot. And look at Dusko's striking defense. Ooh, it's terrible. It is horrible. Dusko round 1. I think if Dusko wins inside the distance, it will be by submission, though. Maki's been submitted like a ton. Maki's been submitted 4 times. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 125 doesn't seem so bad considering how they lose. Yeah, I don't hate that. They both suck, but this is Pittolo inside the distance. I agree with that. Maki has better stand-up, but mentally he looks off. He looked a lot better in his last fight, I'll say that. But yeah, he does make a lot of mistakes in there. You thinking fight doesn't go is a lock. No. I think it could go decision, but yeah, fight doesn't go is not a bad look. But nothing's a lock, and especially that. Jim Crute gonna destroy. Hey, we'll talk about it. 2 bums, and I'll just sit back and watch. That's smart. I have actually think Pittolo make it look easy. I think he could. I'm just not impressed with Dusko. No striking defense. You gotta have striking defense. It's important, right? Striking defense is always important. But we'll keep moving on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights left, and we are 41 minutes in. So Brad's sipping on some marks. There you go, Brad. All right, so we'll move on. Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis. I'll keep this one somewhat short. I think it's a great spot for Brendan Allen. I was actually expecting the line to move in and close up a bit. I see a lot of people on Curtis, a lot of people saying they're going to, they won the bet last time. They're going to go right back to him again. And it was like Thursday at the time. I'm looking at Bet MMA tips to see, who's betting on Chris Curtis, and nobody. There was not one bet on Chris Curtis on Thursday. I was like, what's going on? I felt like a lot more people would be on him. I see a lot of people talking about him, but nobody's pulling the trigger there. So I ended up, I was going to bet Allen all week. I was just kind of waiting for the line to close in. It doesn't look like it's going to. I have Allen up in a parlay, and this is probably as big of a fish parlay you can do, but I actually really like this parlay. It's between this card and 269. It's Brendan Allen, Amanda Nunes, 2.25 units, minus 225, both of them to win. So basically, if Allen wins here, I'll be getting Nunes at minus 225 next week, and that's my goal there. I've already looked into the Nunes fight. I like her to win quite a bit. But as far as Brendan Allen goes, I guess I missed the price tag a little bit. I got him at minus 360. He's now minus 320. Just a great matchup for him. He's going to be the much bigger fighter. If you guys saw the weigh-ins, the size difference is apparent. Same reach, though. Brendan Allen is somebody that has always been very dangerous on the mat, legit black belt in BJJ, submitting guys like Kevin Holland, who's a black belt. He's somebody that has fought great competition as well. Even outside of the UFC, this guy's fighting guys that have fought in the UFC. Just very impressed with the guy, and I wasn't completely sold on him up until his last couple fights. Against Carl Roberson, he looked good. The striking looked improved for what we saw of it in the first minute, but he went to the takedowns and submitted Carl Roberson, and then we saw in his last fight against Punahele Soriano, and the improvements this guy's making at Sanford MMA is evident. He's going to be the much younger fighter by a significant margin. He's going to be the much bigger fighter. He's going to have a massive, massive advantage on the mat if he decides to take it there. And even I give Allen the striking advantage as well. What is Chris Curtis's path to victory? It's probably another knockout. Chris Curtis by knockout is plus 450. If you do like Curtis, I don't hate that. But, Brendan Allen's typically very, very tough, very hard to put out. So, yeah, give me Brendan Allen for the win. Yeah, I think he gets it done. As far as DK goes, 9,600, I'm going to be on that as well. There's so much value on the slate that you can easily go up and get Brendan Allen, so no problem with that. As far as Chris Curtis, I won't be playing any personally, but I know a lot of people that probably will. But yeah, give me Brendan Allen here pretty comfortably. Am I sparking up tonight? No, sir, I am not. Jam saying Allen all day. I think Allen gets it done. General on Allen. Curtis is going to KO Allen. Watch out. Hey, he KO'd Phil Hawes, that's for sure. Sean, can Allen pay out the 9,600? I think if he wrestles, absolutely can. Absolutely. If he strikes, maybe not. But if he grapples, yes. I got Curtis by decision. The whole world is on Allen. Not technically the whole world. I see a lot of people on Chris Curtis. A lot of people. 1.5 units on fight doesn't get a decision. Minus 150. I can see it. Does Santos chin worry you against Clay? Absolutely not. Because Clay's not finishing anybody. Now, Allen ain't losing. Allen Matthews parlay. I would personally not parlay Matthews. I can't sleep on Chris. The shot Sean hit Allen with will put him down easily. Chris hits like a truck. Hawes was making it look yeah, people might have to go back and watch. Like Hawes was looking like career best in his striking at one point. He got caught though, which it happens. People get caught. I don't trust the 9600 for Allen. It won't be easy. But the problem with that, Brad, is you don't like Allen at 9600. Who are you going to play? Are you going to play Manel Kape? Are you going to play are you going to play Cheyenne Velismus? Are you going to play Alex Morono? Like, that's the problem I'm having is, yeah, you might not be able to trust it, but who are you going to play? Are you going to play Jake Matthews? Like, that's the problem there. There's only two guys I'm playing in the 9K, and it is Brendan Allen, and it's going to be Jimmy Crute as well. I was on Curtis against Hawes, but it's not the same spot. Not at all. Maki is one of the worst fighters on the roster. A man lost to Colin Potter as a minus 365 favorite. Auto fade. Yeah, I can't deny that. He did lose to him. Also won pretty big bet. A ton of people won a lot of money on the Chris Curtis against Hawes. 9,600 is too rich for Allen. It is, but like, who are you going to play instead? I'll be playing Brendan Allen. You guys can play Jake Matthews. Font, Morono, Fiziev, plus 365. Decent. Hawes was just wrecking Curtis. Hawes does have no chin. I trust Morono more than Allen to get a finish. Interesting. No. What? Kizayev, shout out to Kizayev, the best ref out there. He's reffing the Nunez fight. That is not good. Somebody's going to die then. All right, we'll keep moving on, though. But yeah, Allen gets it done. Next, we have Jimmy Crute going against Jamal Hill. Jimmy Crute, minus 165. Jamal Hill, plus 145. I was kind of hoping more money came in on Jamal Hill. I saw Crute at minus 160. I was hoping to get minus 150. Maybe I'm going to keep waiting it out, but I do like Crute here. You just take a look at Hill's takedown defense. We only have a one, maybe two fight sample. I think there was one fight on the outside of the UFC where he was taken down, but the Darko Stosic fight was something you guys got to really look at just to see how easily he was getting taken down. Like, he was getting taken down with no trouble at all. Stosic was making it look easy. The problem, or the difference between Stosic and Jimmy Crute is a legit black belt on BJJ. This guy's grappling's phenomenal. Not often do you see somebody go out there and submit Paul Craig, ever. And Crute was able to do that. So Crute's grappling is on another level of a Darko Stosic, and we saw Darko Stosic take down Hill like easily. I remember one of the commentators, I think it was maybe DC, was talking about like, yeah, he needs to fix that takedown defense, but he's looking good because he was looking good on the feet, but he was just getting taken down so easy. And then like I hear people talking about how his takedown defense has improved, and there's no evidence of that. Against Klitz and Abreu shoots 0 takedowns. Against OSP shoots 0 takedowns. I really don't know why, but they both shot 0 takedowns. And then against Paul Craig pulls guard and submits him. Well, technically KO, but still. At the striker versus grappler, Hill, I think, has a blue belt in BJJ, but Crute, I believe, is a black belt. Crute's going to have a massive, massive, massive grappling advantage, a wrestling advantage. I mean, you take a look at Crute's wrestling numbers. Jimmy Crute has an 80% takedown accuracy, and he averages 5 takedowns per 15 minutes. His wrestling's phenomenal. His grappling's phenomenal. And his striking's solid. I will give Hill the striking advantage, but with that said, Jamal Hill's striking defense is very bad. 45%, leaves his chin up in the air. I don't want to say it's as bad as Duska's, but it's up there. Like, it's really bad. Darko Stosic was landing on him at times. I like Crute here, but was wanting to get minus 150. So I'm going to keep waiting it out, see where the line goes. I might bet Crute. I might just pass. What I did do is bet Crute by submission earlier in the week, plus 380. Half a unit on that. I think it's around like plus 250, which is still pretty solid. Even like Crute inside the distance, plus 105 is not bad. But yeah, Crute by submission, my official play as of now. But if the line closes up, which I'm hoping it does, I will be on Crute at hopefully minus 150, but we'll have to see where the line does go. I'll be keeping a close eye on it. But yeah, I think Crute gets it done. As far as the DK goes, yeah, I mean, Crute is the one guy in the 9Ks I really do like. Lots of takedowns, grappling upside, submission upside, finish upside. Jamal Hill, horrible takedown defense, blue belt. I think Crute submits him here. But yeah, Hill is a dog on DK is interesting. 7K. He's going to throw a ton of volume. He's able to stuff the takedowns to get back up. Hill's going to score a ton. So yeah, I don't hate taking some shots on Hill at that price. Crute second round sub. James liking the Hill side. I have 1 unit on the over 1.5. I'm a huge Crute guy, and I think he gets it done, but not a fan of it. The Mola. You're not a fan of the Mola. I think the Mola is awesome. Clever way to parlay the prop, the Nunez odds. Nice move. I hope it works out. Just need Alan to get it done. Crute, you is my favorite 9K guy for sure. He's my favorite as well. Crute's grappling is next level, but will he use it? He did not use it in the Anthony Smith fight up until he got hurt, but hopefully he can use it here. If he uses it here, I think he's in a good spot. Man, Crute just came off of a performance where he showed very poor fight IQ. I can't pull the trigger. That was one thing for me as well. Because he was sitting at like minus 190. I'm like, do I really want to lay minus 190 on Crute where there's a chance that he comes out here and decides not even to wrestle? But now he's minus 165, so now I'm a little more tempted. Crute is going to go optimal because of the grappling. He's going to score 100 plus drafting points on and FanDuel. Yeah, I agree. Crute is still young. I bet 1.7 on Crute's money line. I think he learned from the poor performance against Smitty. I sure hope so. And yeah, I might jump on there with you if the line does improve a little bit. I think Hill can catch Crute, but the path to victory is written for Crute. I'll take the shot on Hill at an underdog price for sure. Yeah, especially on DraftKings. Sorry, Kiss. I have he's reffing an O'Malley fight. Oh no, that's not good. We should do a O'Malley Moutinho rematch and have Kisayev ref. And let's make it 5 rounds. I think that'd be fun. Smash them likes. I agree. Let's get those likes up. Crute is only 25. His IQ will improve it. I hope so. If he's smart, he's going to wrestle. But we'll keep moving on. We have 3 fights left. Leonardo Santos, Clay Guida. So what I'm going to start doing, along with posting my bets on Saturdays, is I'm going to start, putting out a bet here or there, like during the week, like on Instagram, DFS by the numbers, and then on Twitter, I'm going to put out a bet that I like throughout the week. And I put out Leonardo Santos. I wrote a little breakdown, and I like him quite a bit, and we'll talk about why. And there's so many reasons to like Santos here. I did bet him minus 165. I was shocked when I saw that he was minus 165 because I was going to bet him at minus 188. I was getting ready to pull the trigger, and I saw like the line move drastically in favor of Guida, and I said, okay, I'm going to put 2 units on Santos at minus 165. So let's start. I kind of want to go through this fight quite a bit. So look, tail of the tape, Santos 41, Guida 39. Guida is turning 40 in a couple of days. But when you take a look at the fights, the mileage on these guys, one guy has a ton of mileage, 58 fights for Clay Guida. Going to be his 58th fight, where Santos, this is going to be his 24th fight. So Guida has double the fights as Santos. So although Santos is older slightly in age, the mileage, the damage is so much more on the Guida side. So that's something you got to point out right off the bat. Another thing, the height. If you guys saw the weigh-ins, there's a massive height advantage for Santos, a 5-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. This guy's going to be much, much bigger. And then we go to the striking. Santos is going to have a massive striking advantage. I know he's a black belt. He's a legit black belt in BJJ, but he's going out here and he's knocking guys out. His striking's good. He's hurting guys. And then we see Clay Guida. A lot of people aren't talking about this. We see Clay Guida go out there in his last fight against an Olympic wrestler in Mark Madsen and get outstruck in all 3 rounds, 98-72. You're getting outstruck by a Olympic wrestler, Mark Madsen, who has no striking, who had shown no striking prior to that fight. That's a bad look. And he also made Madsen look like he had somewhat of a cardio. We know how bad Madsen's cardio is, but Madsen's cardio was able to hold up through 3 rounds. And then we talk about the grappling. The grappling is all in favor of Santos as well. Santos legit black belt in BJJ, and even if Guida wants to take him down, good luck. 89% takedown defense for Santos. He was able to stuff, I think, every takedown but one against Grant Dawson, who is a better wrestler than Guida at this point. So I give the tail of tape advantage to Santos. I give the striking advantage massively to Santos. If you're getting outstruck by Madsen, I don't know what to tell you. And I give the grappling advantage massively to Santos. So I don't really get this line. And I see a lot of people on Guida, and I don't really understand it. Santos, I kind of more so agree with the opener of minus 260. I get his gas tank is bad, but didn't Mark Madsen have a bad gas tank? How did that work out for Clay Guida? And Santos is a much better fighter than Mark Madsen. People forget how good Leonardo Santos is. This is a guy that, prior to the Dawson loss, He had not lost since 2009. So if he didn't lose to Dawson, if that fight never happened, or if he beat Dawson, I think Santos would be like a minus 500, minus 400 favorite here against Guida. But he did get knocked out in his last fight. He did slow down, but I think it's a really good matchup for him here. So give me Leonardo Santos, my biggest play of the night, I believe. Don't have a ton of big plays or whatnot this week, but he is a 2-unit play for me, minus 165. And I think he does get it done. But he is 41. That is scary. His gas tank's bad. That is scary. But man, just on paper, looking at the fight, I think it's a great matchup. Santos is too big. Yeah, he's huge. How does Guida win? I think the way he wins is Santos gassing out. But even then, I feel like Santos can at least bank 2 rounds. Santos is actually older. Yeah, he's older by about a year and a half, something like that. Santos already moved to minus 180 on DK. Minus 165 was insane. I put 3.3 units on Santos. Yeah, that line was nuts. I was going to bet him all the way up to minus 200. I was just kind of waiting, and good thing I did. Minus 165. Oh, did he get it done? Nice. Spike Carlisle got it done. Sweet. Missed that guy. Wish he was back in the UFC. Guida is a fan favorite. That is true. Santos has he's big. He is very, very big. If you guys saw the weigh-ins, there's a massive size advantage. Cage size should definitely play into Santos' strength. The bunny can hop around so much. He hops around a ton, but doesn't land well. I didn't even touch. Did I touch on the striking accuracy of Guida? Guida has a 34% striking accuracy. Nuts. I do agree. Yeah, if it gets to the third round, I think Guida wins it. Santos inside the distance plus 200. Oh, speaking of that, I also do have another play. I think the line's still there too. Leonardo Santos wins in either round 1 or round 2 plus 310, half a unit on that. That line is whack. Like if Santos wins inside the distance, it's not going to be in the third round. So yeah, wins in round 1 or round 2 plus 310, half a unit, FanDuel Sportsbook. I think it's still there last time I checked, but yeah, that's a pretty solid spot, I'd say. All right. We will keep moving on. We have 2 fights left here. Rafael Fiziev going against Brad Riddell. You're really curious to hear you guys' thoughts in the chat on this. A lot of guys on both sides, and rightfully so. This is a very close fight. I think it's probably one of the closest fights on the entire card. And yeah, I mean, where do we start? I mean, as far as DK goes, I don't really have a ton of interest in this fight. Both guys are strikers. I don't see a ton of... I mean, if anything, Brad Riddell is going to get takedowns, but that's going to be easier said than done against Fiziev, who has a 100% takedown defense. So I think it stays striking. I think it goes to decision. So as far as DK goes, I think this fight will have some ownership, but I don't see myself playing much of it. I'm going to go with Riddell. I'm going to go with Riddell here because I think he can mix it up here or there. Maybe he's able to get a takedown, but at least like attempt them, I think would be important here. Because we have seen Fiziev slow down, not just in the Bobby Green fight, but in multiple fights. He slowed down in the Alex White fight. He slowed down in the Dia Casey fight a bit as well. This is a guy that does slow down as the fight goes on, where Brad Riddell does not. But it's a close fight. I mean, I'm going to side with Brad Riddell, but not with a ton of confidence. I was looking at the fight goes to decision or the over 2.5 rounds, but those are very, very juiced. There's just no point in playing those anymore. Picks me Brad Riddell. It did get to plus 110 at one point. I was kind of tempted, but I think I'm just going to sit back and watch this one. Not any action on it from a betting perspective, no action on it from a DK perspective, but just sit back and watch this one. Let's see here. MT like and Riddell going the distance since they are friends and don't want to fight each other or didn't want to fight each other. Yeah, I could see it going the distance as well. This fight is too close to call. Fight isn't a good decision for me. I agree. I think it's like minus 180, which is a little too chalky for me, but yeah, I think it does go the distance. Hardest fight for me to pick here went Riddell. Yeah, I went there as well, but no bet. What is up, Vince? Brady Mob, shout out to you, Vince, for hanging out. I have a bet on Brad since he was an underdog against the Russian. I'm not stopping now. There you go. Adrian with another hot take. This fight will finish. Everyone's saying fight goes to distance. A lock. It's definitely not a lock. I see someone getting finished. Hey, it could happen. But both guys are really tough. I guess is my only problem. Both guys are very, very tough. But we'll keep moving on. Last fight. Before we do get into the last fight, you guys can smash the like button. Let's get those likes up. Also want to remind you guys, I'll be going live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Me, Wheezy, Narco Cop, and MMA Lock of the Night should be a very fun show. We're doing it at an extra 30 minutes because we have 14 fights, and we're going to have 4 guys on the panel. So 1 hour and 30 minutes of best bets should be a very fun show. Rob Font, Jose Aldo. Rob Font minus 140 and Jose Aldo plus 120. I went over this with Wheezy on a Monday. Usually we break down the main event and we talk about it from a betting perspective, but I think it was the very first show we did on Monday where I'm like nothing's sticking out. Like no prop is sticking out, no total is sticking out, no size just sticking out. Just nothing sticking out in this fight. I think the line is about accurate. Honestly think it could be a little bit closer. I could see like a font minus 125 even. This is a very close fight and a very tough fight to call. You take a look at Rob Font, he's going to have some advantages here. He's going to be 1 year younger. He's going to have a 1 inch height advantage, a 1.5 inch reach advantage, I believe. So, ever so slight tail of tape advantage. Jose Aldo has a ton of fights on his record. He has 37 fights, whereas Rob Font has 23. In terms of the striking, it's close. It is very close. Like in terms of the numbers, Rob Font's going to have a massive volume advantage. But I also thought that Pedro Munoz in his last fight would have a volume advantage, but Jose Aldo was able to kind of take that away. So I'm curious to see what this fight does look like in terms of the striking, but I do expect it to be very close. The cardio I think is pretty key here. I think Rob Font's going to have the cardio advantage. We have seen Jose Aldo slow down as the fight goes on, but I think at least early on it's going to be very, very competitive. I guess I'm going to slightly lean towards Rob Font because of the volume, because of the cardio, because we have seen Jose Aldo slow down, but I don't want to count out Jose Aldo. I mean, the performance he put on last fight was, it just showed that he is not anywhere close to being done. And it's going to be a close fight. Close, greasy fight. I'm going to take Rob Font by decision, but there's just no confidence in that pick. As far as DK goes, I don't know if I love this fight from DK because neither guy's going to wrestle. If Rob Font does try to wrestle, he's not going to get a takedown. Jose Aldo has not completed a takedown since 2014. It'd be smart for him to, but he hasn't done it in years. If it's going to be striking and kind of lowish volume, goes 5 rounds, how well is that going to score on a 5 or a 14 fight slate? I'm not so sure. So if anything for me on DK, it's probably Font for the volume, but this is a fight. This is a main event where I feel like you can get really different having some lineups without it in it. And I think I'm going to be doing that because I just don't know if I see this fight scoring all that well. But yeah, the picks Font, no bet. No bet on the main event. No bet on the co-main event. Not a ton of action this week. I had a bet on Jared Vanderaa. That's out now. But yeah, it's not a card I'm going crazy on. But next week I already have 2 pretty big bets. Next week I'm looking at my next max bet. I'm waiting for a line. I am ready. Was able to do a nice deep dive into the card last night. Next week's going to be awesome. But this week I'm keeping it kind of light, taking some shots on some dogs here and there. And it should be a fun card. Should be definitely a fun card. You don't think Otto can last 5 rounds? Yeah, I mean, the last couple 5-round fights he's had have not been good looks. Rob Font, Puerto Rico in the house. Yeah, I think he gets it done. A lot of sharp people on Brad. I see some sharp people on Fiziev too, though. Yeah, I feel the first round is going to be a lot of waiting around and standing. I do agree with that. Thinking of using the over 3.5 minus 200 as a small parlay piece. Yeah, I think it probably goes over. I think if there's a finish, it's probably late. Since it's 5 rounds, Otto's going to be much slower and allow Font to piece him up. It could happen. I just don't know how confident I am in Rob Font there. But yeah, guys, that's about it. I say we go through the bets here and then head out. So tons of straight bets. I have a 2-unit bet on Leonardo Santos, minus 165, my biggest bet of the night. And then we have Maki Pittolo, 1 unit plus 145, beat a little bit of alignment, but there. Jeremiah Wells, 1 unit plus 164. Claudio Puelles, 1 unit plus 120. And then, of course, I had the Jared Vanderaa bet off. I got him at plus 184, half a unit. Jimmy Crute wins by sub, half a unit plus 380. Luis Smolka, Vincent Morales fight doesn't go to decision, 1 unit plus 100. Leonardo Santos wins in either round 1 or round 2, plus 310, half a unit. Barberena weeks under 2.5 rounds, minus 125, 1.25 units. And then my parlay with this week and last week, Brendan Allen, Amanda Nunes, minus 225, 2.25 units, hoping that if Allen wins, I'll be able to get Nunes at a minus 225 price tag next week. That is the plan. Hopefully everything goes to plan. Hopefully make some money. The spots I'm looking at, I don't think I'll bet anything else, but the spots I'm looking at, Jimmy Crute, I'm kind of waiting to see where that line goes. I'm hoping to get minus 150. We'll see what happens there. And what else am I looking at? I'm looking at maybe Manel Kape inside the distance, but it's not even a great price tag, plus 200. Menifield Knight, I'm looking at potentially the fight doesn't go to decision if the price does move a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of wait. The card does not start till like 7 tomorrow, so I have some time. I'm gonna see where the line goes on some of these and maybe add like one more play if I do. You can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. And yeah, should be a fun card. Should be a very fun card. All right. James saying, always appreciate your work, Brady. Seriously, man, thanks. Hey, I do appreciate you hanging out here and always in the Discord as well. Smash that like button before you guys head out. I agree. Hit the like button. Over 1.5 rounds, safe parlay piece. It's probably like minus 600. Claudio is going to be another Tucker Lutz. He could be, but I don't really think that matchup's relevant. But I kind of get what you're saying. Thanks as usual. No problem. Mateo, thank you for hanging out. If you guys can smash the like button on the way out, sub if you are not already. Like 10 subs away from 13K. It would be cool to hit that soon. So we'll see you guys later. I have some articles to write, and I have another show to do in about 20 minutes. That should be fun. Busy night, and I still have to hit the gym as well. So lots going on. See you guys. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon. See you.